When you're in the event business, everyone comes to this realization that not every show is a good idea. And you could take a show that's not a good idea with a great production staff, and you could make it work, make it happen, and make something good out of it. But when you get a show that's a bad idea in the first place, and then add an incompetent production staff, well, you're really in for something now. And this is what happened when we did the Red Bull gig at the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Someone had a brilliant idea to build a 9-story snowboarding ramp on the Lower East Side of Manhattan at the East River Park. And the gig was that they would have this monstrosity at one end of the park. The other end of the park, we would have a stage. We would have a performance from my musical guests. And the commentaries could be up there. Hey, look how good he's doing. Hey, wiped out, or whatever they do. And then they could have the award ceremony on the stage, the final night of the gig. That's the plan, right? Well, part of the problem with the plan is that a site like that should have minimum 100 stagehands on it. They had, I think, 20. It wasn't a number much bigger than that. It was low. And they needed much more. And everything was running behind, for the obvious reasons of what it was. And, we had, my job was there is that I was the front of house sound mixer for the event. Had a sound system on stage, one left, one right, and we had some delay towers in the back, and we ran some feeds back to the catering, which was a 100 plus yards away. So you could be back there in catering and listen to all the action when you're back there. Catering, however, for the week, side note, was horrendous. It was horrendous. Not one hot meal, not one hot beverage, and that's how that went. So they get this thing, they get the snow ramp finally built. They get to what they call the landing thing the guys land on finally. And then they spend a day putting artificial snow over it. And then in the evening, they were putting water on it so it would freeze and they would have that snow down there because a forecast said we weren't going to get any snow, so they were concerned about that. So the day after they did that, we had a blizzard that hit for the next 48 hours. Now, I had been in New York City for 20 years, and I never saw it snow like that. It was epic. Epic snow. And not only did it snow, but it was cold. It went down to 5 degrees, right? It snowed so bad that one of my buddies, Wyatt Walker, it might have been his brother Clayton, was driving a snowcat, and the snowcat got stuck, sank, and listed over to the left. I mean, it was it was beyond horrible. It was just so miserable. And the night before the show, you're doing the thing, you're testing everything, you're making sure everything works, and everything's difficult, so cold. All of the mixing consoles stopped working. All of the audio mixing consoles froze. We had to bring in analog consoles. My iPhone froze. I kept it inside like 3 layers. It was just so miserable at 5 degrees. So day of show comes, and another caveat too was, that landing ramp that they had built, that they had put that ice on and put that artificial snow. Now when the real snow came down, it collapsed the thing. So they had to rebuild that all again. And nobody ever had the epiphany of adding enough labor to make the thing happen. It was I just really felt for the guys that were doing the build, because if I was miserable, they were really miserable, So day of show comes, and I'm on the front of house riser for the thing, and I'm there on that platform from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night without a bathroom break, without a lunch, a dinner, a sandwich, a cup of hot coffee, not even an anything, right? It was completely miserable. And if any other bands played throughout the day, I really don't remember them or blocked them out of my mind. But I'll tell you what I do remember. I remember that they're doing the announcements from the stage, who's doing this and who's doing that and who's doing a flip and that, whatever their commentary is, right? And they're doing that all day. And we got to the evening, and someone came to me and said, "Hey, you can shut off the catering feed because we're taking down catering," like anyone would notice, right? So, all right, shut that off, right? And so not a minute, 2 minutes later, someone comes running up to me all freaked out that goes, "Hey, we're off the air." So who's off the air? I said, "ESPN." "Yeah, what's that got to do with me?" Because you're providing the on-air feed for them. It's like, really? Somebody had taken a split from the catering line, just went back there with a Y cable, popped that in. You know, I mean, if I would have known that, I would have paid attention. Maybe dialed something up interesting, just hey, and then whatever. But that's so cold, miserable. Like, really, who could care? You know. So they're up. So now they're doing their award thing, and they're up on the stage, and it's time for the award ceremonies, and it's going, and it's going, and it's going, and it's running kind of late, and we're approaching 10 o'clock. Now, Anthrax was scheduled to take the stage at 9 p.m. and be done at 9:45 to do a 45-minute set. And for those of you that have never dealt with the New York City Parks Department, they're the people in the green outfits, and they are very serious about their job, and they're very serious about the parks, and they don't find any of your shenanigans amusing. I remember doing Sting in Central Park 20 plus years ago. One of the trucks backed up and broke a branch, not a big branch, but not a twig, and the whole site came to a stop. 300 plus people working on the site. Everything had to stop. We had the investigation. When did the driver know about the branch? And it was just a big to-do. They take the parks real seriously, right? So, the fact that they do not carry guns, right? The Parks Department people, but they know who does, and that's the NYPD, who they're quite friendly with. So we're back to this gig, right? And Anthrax is about to go on, and I see it's hey, it's 9:30. Hey, it's 9:40. It's 9:45. Hey, it's almost 10 o'clock, and I know that at 10 o'clock we're not having a show because the Parks Department's going to shut us down. So the front of house guy for Anthrax, he's got a bit of an attitude, and I'm trying to explain this to him. It's like, we're not having a show. If we hit 10 o'clock, that's going to be it. I'm shutting this off, and there's no questions about it. He goes, "You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who we are. You know who I am. We're playing here. That's what we're here to do, and I don't give a fuck what anyone's got to say about anything." I said, "All right, okay. Whatever you want to do, Chief," right? So 10 o'clock hits, Anthrax starts, and here comes the NYPD and the Parks Department walking straight to the front of house riser where I'm at. I see them coming. I tap the guy and said, "Hey, you ready for your big conversation? Tell them who you are?" He tells me, "Fuck you." All right. I take my pass. I put it into my jacket, zip it up. I dip off the side. I go walk into the crowd, right? I sit back and watch while the cops come on the riser, have a conversation with him. He points his finger at him. They take him. They throw him down on the deck. They put the cuffs on him. I saw someone walk up to the mixing console just to do all this, whatever any bystander would know how to do walking up to that thing. And that's it. And I went home. That gig was so horrible and just nothing funny about it. But I just got to say, sometimes it's not funny. And some gigs just aren't worth doing.